So when the hair is thick like this, what you want to do, you want to get 2 clippers and just start cutting everything down like that. Nah, I'm just playing, y'all. Don't do that. Yo, YouTube, what's good? Today we're gonna do a low taper, and we cut everything down to wavelength. But yeah, it's really that simple. That's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna really hold y'all too long. We're gonna show y'all steps and processes to achieve a fire wavelength haircut with a low taper. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Y'all, my bad for the background noise, but the first thing we're gonna do is obviously comb all this hair out. Look at all that. You're gonna comb all this hair out. And what this does, this gets his head ready and prepped for us to make that first initial cut down, or the first, wavelength type style. So we're gonna take our number 1 guard and run over everything, the whole entire head. And that sets a good foundation for us to get started and, to set in all our guidelines to start fading and everything. You don't want to start fading into both. You always want to make sure you have a good, straight, good foundation. I said good, straight, good. You want to make sure you have a good foundation, y'all. See, I don't be going into nothing, because really this up here is like a 2 guard. So if you fade, you can be fading to a 2 guard instead of cutting everything down first and then it's a 1 guard. And then after that, you have to redo the whole entire fade, if you was to do that. So with this 1 guard, we're gonna do it our level all the way closed. All the way closed leaves less hair. All the way closed, which is up, leaves a true 1 guard. See, if you open up the level like this, boom, the blade extends. If you close it, the blade gets smaller. Let me, right there. Extend it, smaller, more hair, less hair, more hair, less hair. We're going with less hair. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go with the grain. We're not cutting against the grain. Cutting against the grain with any type of guard will result in cutting it lower than what the guard is used for. So if I cut this hair down with the 1 guard against the grain, it'll probably cut it down to a 1.5 guard. That's the smallest guard right here. Basically, scalping my boy. We don't want to scalp him. So we use the 1 guard. A 1 guard and a 1.5 guard. Let me pause real quick just so y'all know. This is a 1.5 guard and a 1 guard. These are the 2 guards that's the sweet spot whenever somebody comes in the shop and you could, just say, if they just say I want a wavelength or whatever. But usually why you would pick 1 out of the 2, 1 would be closer to skin frill, and the 1.5 will still keep it somewhat dark, like darker than usual. But it all depends on their hair texture. If they have curly hair texture and not really more so coarse, then you may want to start with a bigger guard. It's safe to say that you want to start cutting the hair down with a number 3 guard. So it's always safe to start off with an extremely big guard. Even if you don't know what you're cutting into, you want to start with a bigger guard and start working your way down. For our low taper, for that first guideline, what we want to do is go down right here and create a triangular shape pattern, or a triangular shape guideline, and then everything below that, we just cut it down. Are you keeping the beard or no? No? Alright. So basically, we're going to cut all this down, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to preserve the area. And the reason why we're using our trimmers is because it's more precise. But it does require, it's harder to take out that first guideline whenever you do it with your trimmers instead of your clippers. So first thing we're going to do with our fading process, start our level all the way open and go in the same exact shape of what we just set in, that triangular shape. And now we're going to fade down in that same exact shape. And fading down is slowly moving the notches till closed. Slowly going down and moving down within the fade until you're all the way closed. Now since I know I cut his hair down with the number 1 guard, I'm going to take the next highest guard, which is his half guard, and I'm going to start my fading down process. Basically working in this general area, moving the lever down and moving down within inside of the fade. Every time you close the lever, you should never be in the same exact position or same exact area or basically same exact spot. You can kind of sum it up multiple ways. 1 guard. Keep that same exact shape, triangle shape. And right here with the 1 guard, you can basically use your brush And just slowly moving down, just working in this small little area. And because it looks successfully blended, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use our comb and we're gonna use our rake down technique just to smoothen out the blend. Just to smoothen everything out. Get a nice little lay down pattern. And right here, before we start on the taper, we're gonna wind up giving him like a little co-wash or a dry wash, I would say. We're basically gonna brush all of this in there. All of it. For the back taper, we're gonna set in this first guideline. And we're gonna take it about, I would say right here. And we're gonna use the other side of our trimmer just to set in this guideline because the neck is a sensitive spot or a sensitive area. We're going to treat this like any other taper on any other side. We're going to go up about 1 inch. Really, so it all dictates because my client isn't going to be the same as your client. So, or the person that you're cutting. So we're going to go up for this in particular client about 1 inch. And then we're going to slowly work our way down just like we did on the side tapers. Not switching anything up. Just to ensure a nice even fade. And having a nice even fade, making sure everything is even or symmetrical. Every guideline that you set in, this side not faded up higher than the other side and whatnot. All that would result in a better looking taper, a better looking haircut, a better looking fade in general. 1.5 guard, lever all the way open. Every time we start with a new guard, our lever will be 100% all the way open. We're never starting with the lever closed with this system. Other systems you can. So if y'all are getting confused because you're watching a whole bunch of barbers at one time, a lot of other barbers, you can actually start. Back in the day, I used to start my tapers with the lever all the way closed. I used to fade from the bottom and work my way up. But then a while, you know, after doing it for such a good minute, I noticed I started pushing my fades up way too high. So then I started learning how to down fade. And down fading just ensures that you just do not fade too high. And a lot of beginner barbers, or you as a beginner barber, or somebody that's just starting out cutting hair, you know, you're probably going to run into the problem of fading too high. So fading down kind of helps with that, not fading too high. Because I'm never touching the hair up here. I'm starting up here and working my way down. Slowly, slowly, slowly watching the taper or the fade come together. Now we're working on number 1 guard and this fade is just going to come together. The number 1 guard, let me use a brush for this right here. The number 1 guard is always that sweet spot when the fade just starts completely just coming together. And I'm not using no type of flick out motion. I'm just putting the blade or the guard on the skin, on his hair, and I'm just fading. Same process, moving my way down, working my way down. And I'm not pressing too hard. I'm just letting the clipper do what it needs to do. And now for this last initial step of this last initial line, you want to take this half guard, and you just want to start where you left off from with the number 1 guard. Lever all the way open. Basically just tap that line until it starts to disappear. Then once you see it start to disappear, you can close it halfway and just start to detail the fade. But with this half guard, we're only detailing in the 1 guard area's position. Now, to detail in the half guard, the 1.5 guard area, we want to take this number 1 guard, open it, or close it halfway, and then start slicing. Basically dividing or breaking these hairs apart from each other. I think our client's sleeping, y'all. Now we're just starting with our liner prep. How hot this towel is. Crazy. Crazy how it's almost burning my hands. Client, giving it a few minutes, maybe about 2 minutes, 1 minute. Whenever the towel gets kind of cold, that's when we're going to take it off. So by looking at our client does have like a full established lineup. So with that being said, he doesn't have a strong side or a weak side. Both sides are strong. So that gives us the privilege. My bad, moving the camera so much. That gives us the privilege to work to either side, whatever side that we want. And me, I'm more so comfortable working towards that right side because I am right-handed. And you don't want to get your client's eye level adjusted, because that's how he will go home and look inside of the mirror. So what you want to do, you want to start with their nose. The nose is basically the center point of their face. Go up and pick a spot, a designated spot, and just set in that line. Set in a straight line, no curves, no anything, and just start working to your side that you're most comfortable on. But this starter line right here that you set in the middle is the foundation, is the connecting points for both sides of the liner. So you want to make sure that's established and straight first before you go any further. And then you want to start working towards that side. Slow and steady wins the race. Take your time. Take your time with the liner. Make sure you do everything right. It takes a lot of focus and precision or preciseness to do this all day, every day with a lot of clients. So your typical barber will get drained. But me, I kind of like to take it to a whole new level and really just lock in and focus on what's at hand or the objective at hand. You will have to constantly move your client's head and adjust it, getting it back in that right spot that you want. And then all that's below that, it just comes off. So this is our first designated side of the liner. It's a nice boxy shape. Now all we have to do is easy. It's very simple, very easy to understand, very simple to understand. Make this left side match this right side. That's all it takes. That's all it ever takes. Remember, we're using half of our blade. We're using half of our blade, working towards this left side, just to make sure everything is straight. And right here, I'm noticing it stops. This vertical bar on this side doesn't stop at the end of his eyebrows or right here by his arch. Is right here in the middle. So what I want to do is I can come over here and kind of already have that picture almost about right here. I'm not going to work up too high because I don't know how far down or how far up I'm going to have to take this side. Let me refocus the camera. Right down. And now we can just play connect the dots. Now to finish the haircut off or to finish the liner process off, what you want to do is set in your C-cup. Every low taper has a C-cup. We don't want to start it down here. As you can see, if I started down there, there's really a lot of light spaces right there, so I'm really not going to see a hard C-cup or a hard C-cup liner, which will result in the haircut not looking as clean. So instead of starting it right here where the hair is light, we're going to take it up about right here. And we're going to mostly set in about half of our blade. Kind of touch it a little bit. Hold our clippers vertically and just connect the two. With the corners are utilizing the corners of our trimmer. And that is why it's called a C-cup. Because all it is a C. You can have a more in-depth C-cup or more, like I can take this part back a little bit just to have the C-cup a little bit more deeper, which will result in it standing out a lot more than a normal C-cup. And now we're adding our enhancements. Even though his line is perfectly straight, it's perfectly crispy and whatnot, we're still going to add that initial pop to it. just to get that look that I want to get, because everybody has a certain look to their haircut, and obviously just to get that pop to his cut. You want somebody to I want people to look at my client and be like, wow, where did he get his haircut from? Who's that barber? Who cut his hair? You know? Put that up a little bit right there. And the pencil just highlights the outside of the lineup and makes it pop like crazy. And now we're just doing some finishing touches, basically just gliding over the hair. Getting all these little straggly hairs over, for all of them. Use the heel of the blade, the back of the blade, and just glide like that. That keeps my balance right there. So I can apply pressure or get these little straggly hairs off of him. I keep messing up my words, but it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. It's cool, just like y'all learning, I'm learning on my speech how to talk, because I do plan on teaching the world one day, maybe going to a barber event or maybe getting invited to a barber event. I would love that. Obviously, I will probably be nervous, no doubt about it, but it's all a learning process. That's a good thing about life, that's a good thing about humans. We're never limited to what we can do. We can always do, we can really do whatever we want in this world. We can be whoever we want to be, do whatever we want to do. You just gotta apply yourself to it. Make it happen. HYB. Make it happen. Alright, so this is the cut right here. A nice, clean, low taper. I'm about to show you the back. Very, very, very nice cut. And this is the opposite side right here. Very clean, very nice. Let me show you the front of that lineup. That's the best part. The lineup is the best part. Seeing a nice, clean, straight, sharp, hitting lineup. That's the best part right there. Boom. Alright, hold your head up for me. Alright there. Nice, sharp, clean, boxy lineup.